Hi, my name's Clarissa Lam, and I'm presenting Real Stories Filmmakers Quarantine Log. This is our second episode featuring Kayla Wong. Are you ready? My first question for you is, can you just introduce yourself, I guess, to whoever's watching?
Hi, I'm Kayla Wong. I go to Piedmont High School. I'm a junior, and I've been with Real Stories for 4 years.
And how long have you been a board member for them?
I've been a board member for 2 years.
So, what are the greatest challenges you've experienced due to the coronavirus and shelter in place in the Bay Area?
The greatest challenge that I think that I've been facing with the coronavirus is just like social distancing. I mean, it's not hard to do like physically, but like emotionally, like I don't get to see my friends as often, and it's just kind of really weird to not go to school at all. Like go to the campus. And I realized like this last week that like one thing that I always did before school is me and one of my best friends, we like park right next to each other, and then we walk down to school together, and then we walk back to our cars at the end of the day. And I didn't realize how much like just like those little things that are part of like our normal routine like are so impactful for my day. And because I don't do that like now, obviously, it's just really weird.
Yeah. And how is Piedmont High School dealing with all of this? What kind of structure are they having classes?
At Piedmont High School, we're doing online classes, and we've been using Schoology which is like our online like school like planning kind of thing, to like have both our classes and our homework and our lessons like are all in one place, which is really helpful. And then we have like a period schedule for the week. So we'll have like two class periods that are 3 hours long each day. It's for Friday where we have like office hours and tutorial. So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah. Would you say the transition's been pretty smooth or kind of rough as far as just like your schoolwork?
I think that it was a little rough in the first week, but our teachers were really good about transitioning us from like at school to online. So it was definitely like a learning curve for all of us.
Yeah. And Piedmont gives Chromebooks to all the students, right? So yeah, so
Yeah.
everyone at least has an access to a computer. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then throughout all of this, have you experienced like a silver lining?
Silver lining. Um, I think that I've definitely gotten like a lot more time to do more things that I enjoy doing because of quarantine. Like a little less than I originally thought that I would have, because like we do like have to do school and all that. But there's definitely been more time to like do things that I like painting and editing and baking, which has been really fun because I can just make something and then like my whole family comes into the kitchen, we all eat it, and it's just really rewarding to do things like that.
Yeah. Um, how do you think the film industry might change might like really be impacted by the virus?
Hmm. I think that the film industry will probably have to put in like a lot more like restrictions or guidelines on just like how a set works, like health wise, I guess, because a lot of the time it would be like a lot of people on a set having to work together in like close quarters, unless you're like in an open field. I don't know. But I think that that would be one of the main things of having like new health guidelines.
Yeah. And you're junior, right? So
Yeah.
are you planning to apply? Are you thinking about going to film school in the fall or you're
Oh,
applying?
I definitely am thinking about applying to like all the film schools, but it's a little scary because I'm just like wondering like how is everything gonna like happen after we are like done with quarantine and like the coronavirus is like over, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, and I'm just seeing how like the coronavirus is impacting filmmakers and different generations. And so as you're going into like this application process and trying to apply to film schools, I mean, what's I think the biggest hindrance to your application? I mean, are they're not doing ACT testing anymore and things like that, right?
Yeah, they like haven't canceled. Well, they haven't officially canceled the ACT that I was signed up for it to take, but they definitely are gonna cancel it. And I think that like a lot of people at Piedmont are really like competitive and about like education and stuff. And a lot of them and my grade have already taken it, like the ACT or the SAT, and I haven't yet because I'm still doing like my tutoring. So I definitely feel like there's like a disadvantage with that, but it's just like something that I think that colleges are trying to like get rid of that like advantage or disadvantage by like the UCs taking away like making it like test optional, I think. Um, but I still think that it would be like beneficial to have testing done. Um, Another thing is just like for like applying to film school, you have to make like your application film. And if like we're not out of quarantine by the summer, I won't be able to do that really. So that's kind of scary as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. How do you think like people our age or our generation are reacting to the virus? There's been a lot
Um,
of memes and stuff on the internet.
yeah,
It
there's
can
definitely been a lot of
not take
memes.
it seriously at times, yeah.
Yeah, I've been on TikTok a lot during quarantine, which is just like really weird. But there's a lot of memes about quarantine, and I think that like I've seen a lot of things that are saying that like our generation right now is like kind of like numb to like everything that's happening because like we've been through like a lot of stuff like with like so many school shootings and stuff and just like a lot of bad things happening with during our like time. But I think that quarantine like for our generation it's just another thing that's happening, which is kind of like weird to say, but it's like another thing that we have to deal with, which is not fun.
Mm. So just kind of like we deal with it and then it kind of moves on.
Yeah, at least I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then as a person in the Asian community, how has your experience with the virus differed from most Americans or most people in your community? Or just
Um,
with all the racism that came out around being Asian in America? Yeah.
yeah, I think that I wasn't really like affected by it. Like I didn't think about it at first that like it would happen to me or that it would affect me and my community. But like my mom has definitely been very like afraid of things, and so she won't let me like go on a walk by myself because she's afraid that I'm like someone's gonna say something racist to me or that something bad will happen because I am Asian. Um, and usually like I like she doesn't like want me to do things and I'll be like no, like I'll be fine. But right now like that's like a real thing that's happening, and like I've heard a lot of stories about Asian Americans right now like getting like bad things like happening like hate crimes and just like microaggressions, and it's scary. And like nothing has happened to me like personally, which I am very grateful for. Um, but it's definitely a scary time to be Asian.
Yeah, yeah. And then also you're from I mean, we're both from a generally wealthy, white, and privileged community, Piedmont. So how has your perception of privilege shifted during this pandemic
Like with
at all?
like wealth or
Yeah, wealth, healthcare system, race, any of that stuff. I mean, if it's shifted at all. Yeah.
I think that I've been thinking a lot more about people who aren't as privileged as me, definitely. Like the homeless population in the Bay Area. I've been thinking about them a lot because like I can quarantine inside of my own home and I have like a backyard that I can walk around in, and like my parents have a lot of hand sanitizer, but the people who are homeless out on the street like they don't have any of that. And like I've noticed that like that's like definitely like a big difference, and I don't know like how like if I wasn't as privileged as I am, like I don't know like what I would do.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Um, and then what else would you like to add? Those are all my major questions. Yeah.
um I don't know.
That's okay. I don't know. Anything that's like perspective that's changed or new thoughts that it's brought up or anything like that?
Um, I think like back to like the thing about being Asian right now is that like it's definitely made me think more about my race, which I don't usually do, especially in like Piedmont. That like it's like much more apparent to me now. And like though I'm always thinking about how I'm Asian, like I never really thought about it in a way that like I could go out on the street and be like harassed because of it or like anything like that. And I've never really been scared about like life because of my race before now.
Yeah, I've had the same experience. I mean, I'm only half Asian, but like my family dealing with certain things, and my dad in the restaurant industry trying to open up an Asian business did not go well during this time. Yeah, but it's definitely a shift because Piedmont, I mean, is like known as a very white and wealthy community, but about I think a fourth of it is also Asian, and there are so many half Asians as well. There's a real mix of the Asian community there. So, but yeah, how has it impacted your work with Real Stories? Are you guys is the student board still trudging on, or?
Well, like right like a week before quarantine like happened, like was fully like in effect. I think that's when we had our screening for Teens 2, our documentary. And that was kind of like our last like thing that we were doing as a student board because we hadn't really talked about having meetings afterwards. So I think it was definitely like a good time for us to like stop like doing things. But I definitely miss like having our meetings every Tuesday because it's just like a great place to like go and like debrief about like life and film and like being a girl. I don't know.
Yeah.
We had I think we had one like Zoom call like 2 weeks ago, and we were just like talking about how we like appreciate each other, and that was really nice. So
Yeah.
kind of trudging along. I don't know.
Have you been doing any film stuff in your home, just like individual filmmaking?
I'm working on something that's like for school. It's like a video essay, but like I wanted to do it anyway. I just have like like more reason to do it now. That's just about like life during quarantine. And then I'm also like working with the Piedmont like film crew, and we're like doing like pre-production on a film about like an Asian American like teenager during quarantine times, and like about like racism. So
Nice. So for pre-production, you're just waiting for shelter in place to lift before you can really get into that and do the production side.
yeah, exactly. We're just working on stories. So
Nice. Okay. Well, anything else you would like to add or want me to know?
I don't think there's anything.
That's okay. Okay. Thanks for talking with me, Kayla, and good to see you.
Good to
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
To help filmmakers like Kayla continue to tell their stories, click the link to donate or visit our website. And to watch more Real Stories content, click the link to subscribe or visit the Filmmakers Quarantine Log playlist to watch more episodes. Thank you for watching!